Welcome in, everyone, to the Lucky Shots podcast. We are here. Finally, the end of the season has come upon us. It is time for the Super Bowl. It's going to be an exciting one. I'm super happy. These are the two teams that I wanted to be here. And, they made it happen. The Bengals, the Rams. Should be a good Super Bowl. Hopefully it's not a repeat of the Rams' last Super Bowl against the Patriots where it wasn't a fun game to watch. I think this one should be pretty good. So let's hop right into it. We'll start off with looking back at the conference championship games. You had Cincinnati against Kansas City. The game looked pretty out of hand pretty quick. Kansas City jumped out to a 21-10 lead at half, but the Bengals, they came roaring back and they forced overtime, and they win on an interception and a field goal. Now look, Bills fans, at what Cincinnati did in overtime. That's what your team should have done. Play defense, force a turnover, get the ball back, go down and score. Because that's what the Bengals did. Got an interception on the opening drive of overtime from the Chiefs. Drive down the field. Evan McPherson goes in and makes it happen. But Evan McPherson goes out, wins the game for them on the game-winning field goal. Joe Burrow in that game had 250 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins had 6 catches for over 100 yards. And Jamar Chase. He had 6 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Player of the game, though, has to go to Evan McPherson. He hit 4 out of 4 field goals, hit a 52-yarder. Absolutely just magical postseason for him. I think he's the postseason MVP if Cincinnati goes on and wins the Super Bowl. For Kansas City, obviously they blew the lead at half, had a costly overtime interception, and their season ends. Patrick Mahomes, he had 275 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Obviously, last one coming at the worst time. Travis Kelce had a big game, 10 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill had 7 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. And McCole Hardman, he had a touchdown as well. He's an irrelevant football player, but nevertheless, let's hop on over, or I guess we can say the final score here. Cincinnati won 27-24. And all of their games have been really close this postseason. Hopefully that means we're in for another close game against the Rams, who took on San Francisco in the NFC Championship. San Francisco led for a majority of the game. 17-7 was a score going into the fourth quarter, but then gave up 13 unanswered. The Rams played pretty slow all game, but turned it on in the fourth. And, Jimmy G, throw the game-ending interception. Put the game in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. I've been saying it for the entirety of the postseason. You make him beat you, he's not going to do it. And he had the opportunity to go out and get it done, and he did not deliver. For San Francisco, Jimmy, he had 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, but obviously the interception in his stat line was the dagger in the postseason for the 49ers. And obviously Debo had a huge game. 11 touches, 98 yards, and a touchdown. George Kittle also had a touchdown. And then on the Rams side, Matt Stafford, looking as good as ever, had 337 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, did throw an interception. Cooper Kupp had 11 catches for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. If the Rams do win this week, you could be looking at what should be the league MVP, and Super Bowl MVP in Cooper Kupp. And then Odell, don't like the guy, but he came out and delivered in this game. 9 catches for 113 yards. One thing I do want to point out, though, the Rams had a lot of third downs. 18 third downs in this game, converted 11 of them, but they also controlled the time of possession. Obviously, if you have a lot of third downs, it means your drives are going to be longer. You're going to control the clock. And San Francisco, had 6 penalties for 54 yards. Doesn't really help out the cause when you don't score, going into the fourth quarter. So that sets it up to be Cincinnati and the Rams in the Super Bowl. Before we get to our Super Bowl preview, let's take a look at the Pro Bowl. Nothing exciting. Not even the skills challenge really this year was exciting. You had Tyreek Hill take 4th in the fastest man competition because he was jogging. Micah Parsons ends up winning that. It's all turning into a joke. Hopefully we'll have Dylan on the podcast tomorrow, and him and I can talk about maybe what ideas we have that could fix the Pro Bowl, because right now it's just becoming something that's not enjoyable to watch, not entertaining. So kind of tough, because it's something that should be looked forward to throughout the season. But hopping on into the game, you had the AFC toppling the NFC 41-34. The AFC offense, Mac Jones, led the way in the passing category with 12 of 16 passing, 112 yards, and a touchdown and an interception. His touchdown was an absolutely beautiful throw and catch, just on a dot. And then the concentration from Hunter Renfrow to pull that in, keep his feet in heavy traffic. It was a very, very nice touchdown to watch. Then Justin Herbert also got a little involved in the game. He had 7 for 11 passing, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He also had an interception. Mark Andrews led the way receiving for the AFC. He had 5 catches for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the aforementioned Hunter Renfrow had 5 catches as well for 43 yards and his touchdown. The NFC offense, they went out. There's not really any defense being played. But Kyler Murray took a large majority of the snaps at quarterback. He had 18 for 27 passing, 160 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Mike Evans had 2 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Dalvin Cook had 3 catches for 17 yards and a touchdown. And Kyle Juicy Juice had 2 catches for 18 yards and a touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, the AFC and NFC had some playmakers with the lackluster two-hand touch type of football they were playing. But Max Crosby had 5 tackles for the AFC, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for loss. Darius Leonard had 4 tackles and a pick 6. Kevin Byard had a couple tackles with an interception. And Myles Garrett had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. On the NFC side, Devin White, he went out there and tried to play a little bit, it looked like. He had 14 tackles. Micah Parsons had 8 tackles and a sack. Brian Burns got himself involved pretty heavily. 2 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. And Antoine Winfield, he said, I'm not going to be outdone. I'll get a pick 6 of my own. And he did just that. Again, not much else to say about the Pro Bowl. Kind of cool, sure, that whatever, but it's just not fun to watch anymore. Talking with Vic Quick a little while ago, maybe flag football would make it more entertaining, because then at least there has to be some effort into going after flags or something. I mean, anything to make this weekend more enjoyable. The fact that the laziness of the football game got into the skills challenge really disappointed me this year. hopefully we see something different next year. It was kind of interesting to see the draft a few years ago, but it didn't change the way the game was played at all. So, I mean, they are trying, I think, but to no avail. So, we're done with the Pro Bowl. Let's hop into what the Super Bowl is this year. It's in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, meaning the Rams will have home field advantage. This is back-to-back years that the one of the teams will have a quote-unquote home field advantage, be playing in their home stadium. For the Bengals, this is their first Super Bowl appearance since 1988, and their road to get here throughout the playoffs. Well, they won 26-19 against Las Vegas. They won 19-16 against Tennessee and 27-24 against Kansas City. Joe Burrow throughout that time has had 842 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Jamar Chase has had 20 receptions, 279 yards, and a touchdown. And T. Higgins has also been a factor. He has had 14 receptions for 209 yards. But again, the MVP of the entire postseason for Cincinnati. And if they win the game, he should be the Super Bowl MVP, regardless of if he kicks a field goal or not, because he was a huge reason for them getting here. Evan McPherson, 12 for 12, 3 50-yard field goals, 2 40-yard field goals, 6 from 30, and 1 from 20. The guy has been absolutely phenomenal. And, hopefully this game is so intense and so good, he could cap off this storybook postseason with a game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl. That may even be my prediction. Evan McPherson wins the game for Cincinnati with a game-winning field goal. Let's see if it happens. On the other side, you got the Los Angeles Rams. Their last Super Bowl was in 2018, where they lost to New England. Already kind of talked about it a little earlier. Boring game. Hopefully we're not in for more of the same, but we've got a much better Rams offense and a Cincinnati offense that looked really good throughout the regular season and has proven to, be able to put up points when they need to in the postseason. What was the Rams' road to the Super Bowl? Well, they won 34-11 against Arizona, then won by 3 against Tampa Bay, 30-27, and then by 3 again, 20-17 against San Francisco. Matt Stafford has been absolutely tearing it up. He has 905 yards, 6 touchdowns, and an interception throughout the postseason. Cooper Kupp sitting at 25 receptions, 386 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And Odell has been contributing throughout these playoffs with 19 catches, 236 yards, and a touchdown himself. What is going to happen in this game? I don't know. I really hope that it's honestly just a lot of offense. Make it a fun Super Bowl to watch. Hopefully it's super close. We haven't had a Super Bowl that has been nail-biting for quite a while. We've seen some pretty decent comebacks in the past few years, but I want something that's tight throughout the entirety of the football game, and it just seems like whoever has the ball last is going to win. Hopefully, it's an Evan McPherson game-winning walk-off field goal for Cincinnati for their storybook ending. And it's kind of interesting, the favorite in this game is the LA Rams. Word around the office, over at Coda and KVN, most people are trying to go with Cincinnati. Most people are pulling for Cincinnati, want them to win, betting on them. So, it's a lot riding on the Cincinnati Bengals. If any of you are watching, we're all counting on you at Coda and KVN. But, should be a good game. Joe Burrow's been playing really well. Matt Stafford's been playing really well. They both have a lot of weapons on offense. Defensively, both teams are going to have to come up with something. Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Von Miller. The Rams' defense is definitely better. But on the other side, you've got Von Bell, you've got I believe you have Von Bell at safety. I can't think. And then Trey Hendrickson. Those guys are going to have to get something going defensively. Logan Wilson, former Wyoming guy. So it'd also be cool for them to win so that a Wyoming Cowboy has a Super Bowl ring. I'm from Wyoming, so little bias there. But should be fun to watch. Let us know down in the comments. Who do you think's going to win? Do you agree with my prediction? Do you have a prediction of your own? And then maybe just throw down in the comments as well. What can the NFL do to fix the Pro Bowl? But that is it for today. Hopefully you join us tomorrow. There should be a show with Dylan unless, I accidentally sleep in or I've got problems. Who knows? We'll see. But hopefully we'll have him on tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about the Pro Bowl, what we can do, or what we think should be done about it, and then the Super Bowl preview. So thanks for watching, everyone. Join us tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.